You can't get far in Portugal without knowing your numbers. From giving out your phone number to your date of birth to that very important, very Portuguese thing, the contribuinte, or your fiscal number, which you will be asked for a lot here. So that's what we're going to tackle in today's video, and by the end you will be able to tackle all of these questions with ease. If learning practical Portuguese in plain English is something that you need, then you may consider subscribing to the channel, as that's what I discuss here every week on the channel. So let's start simple then with the digits from 1 to 10. I'm going to say them slowly and I want you to pay particular note to the pronunciation. I do have several videos on pronunciation rules in European Portuguese, which I think will help you. You can check them out next. Here goes. Dois, três, quatro, cinco, seis, sete, oito, nove, 10. Now let's take a look at some of those again to give you an idea of some of the pronunciation rules you need to keep in mind. The one for number 1 is Now this is a nasal sound. It's happening in your nose and your throat at the same time. We're not actually going to say an M sound here, even though that's the way it's written, because in Portuguese, words that end in an M tell me I have to nasalize the vowel that goes before it and not say a M sound. So this one might need some practice. Another mistake I see people making a lot is overemphasizing the closed E that comes at the end of numbers like nove. We're not going to say novi and make it a whole extra syllable and make an E sound. In Portugal, the way that the dialect and the accent is making it very closed and in your throat. So that final syllable, that final E, is very much closed down. I almost call it like a half a syllable. So don't over exaggerate that. Nove. So these are the numbers that you will need for giving out your phone number, for example. Now, often people ask me, should I group these in a particular way? And the answer is everyone kind of does it differently. So what I do is just split it into 3 sets of 3 single digits. That makes it easy. So you can have a practice with yours. Here's an example, not my actual number. 916 985 321. Now, you may have noticed that something changed in the pronunciation of the number dois. When a word that ends in S stands alone, it's going to have a sh sound at the end. Dois. But if I'm following it with a word that has a vowel at the beginning, like the word that S is actually going to take on a new rule. When I have an S in between 2 vowels, even if sometimes they're in separate words, I'm going to change that S to a Z sound. So this is why if you hear the words dois and very close to each other, it will sound like this. Dois Make sense? Now, something else important you need to know about the numbers 1 and 2 is that these are actually going to vary in gender depending on the gender of the noun you are talking about. So what do I mean by that? We have a masculine and a feminine version for the words 1 and 2. So if I'm talking about something masculine, like a copo de vinho, glass of wine, I'm going to say copo de vinho or dois copos de vinho. However, if the thing I'm talking about is feminine, I'm going to swap for uma and dois for duas. So because the word cerveja, beer, is feminine, I would instead ask for uma cerveja or duas cervejas. So it really is important to learn the gender of words as you're going along. So what about if we're talking about dates or prices? We are going to need higher numbers than 1 to 10. So let's go through these now, and if you need some help remembering them, I actually have a gift for you. I have a flashcard set on Quizlet with all of the numbers that you are going to need. So if you head to the description, you can download that for free and practice till your heart's content. So here are the numbers 11 to 20, and I want you to listen out again for that closed E that stays in the throat. We're not going to over exaggerate the final syllable on most of these. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So if you were born on the 11th of October, for example, you now know that you can answer the question, quando é o teu aniversário? When is your birthday? With dia 11 de outubro. Now for prices in years, we need to go even higher still. So let's look at the multiples of 10. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now, numbers above 100, 101, 102, etc., we're not going to use 100. That's only for when we have the word 100 by itself. Once it moves to numbers above 100, we then say cento, 101, for example. Now, to mix up these numbers like 26, we just have to add an and in there. 26, for example. So now, if you practice these enough, hopefully you are going to get used to things like prices, when something might be 11,50 €11.50. Now the last set of numbers we need are the multiples of 100, and for these again we need to remember gender. We are going to have a masculine version for when we're describing things in the hundreds that are masculine, and a feminine version as well. So we'll give you the masculine, but the feminine will always end in AS instead of OS. So here we go. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. Now you are ready to tackle the hardest thing of all, which is years. Unlike us in English, they won't say 19 and 99, they will say 1999. So let's put those big numbers to the test. This would be, in Portuguese, 1999. So which year were you born? I was born in 1986, even though I don't look it. So now, hopefully, after finishing this lesson, you can answer these very important questions in Portuguese. Have a go now. Qual é o seu número de telemóvel? Qual é o seu número de contribuinte? Quando é o seu aniversário? I hope this lesson was helpful and now you are ready to tackle numbers while you are out and about in Portugal. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Don't forget you can grab those numbers flashcards down in the description. I also have a free lesson for beginners, so if you are just getting started, this is the ideal place to get to grips with the basics that you need in practical Portuguese. We'll cover pronunciation, the real life Portuguese that you need, and also get you started on grammar. I promise it will be the best 60 minutes you spend learning Portuguese, and it's all free online. Just head to the description to sign up. I'll be back next week with more tips and tutorials to improve your Portuguese, so I hope to see you then. Don't forget to subscribe, and ciao for now.